internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
it's more the market cap, but really it's not quite like a higher price tends to mean a higher market cap, and a higher market cap tends to mean higher liquidity. It's really more like the sort of availability of liquidity that determines how easily you can use an asset for payments when you don't have closed loops. Obviously,
to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. Unfortunately, this video is not going to allow you to have a peaceful sleep tonight because it is so bullish. I cannot even comprehend it. There is so much information that I could just keep on adding to this video, but I cannot because it's going to be forever. It's going to be ongoing. So I may have to make another video for this tomorrow, but this is monumental. 99% of people have no idea. David Schwartz already explained the whole entire market cap about XRP years ago, okay? And some people never heard it, and some people completely forgot about it, or they completely ignored it. You guys saw that, you guys heard the intro. I wanna set the stage in a moment so you guys could, listen to it very carefully. Do not listen very carefully with an open mind, and I wanna go ahead and break it down. Because David Schwartz was very strategic with his words. Okay, I'm gonna play the clip in a moment, but I gotta drop a bombshell on you. I'm sorry, so find some shelter. Monumental, that's all I gotta say. And shout out to Cypress for this one. Shout out to DAA also bringing down the whole resume on this is just incredible. You guys saw Mr. PIMP yesterday, and a lot of people were like, oh, look at this, it's all fake. Only one person said that in the comments, but saying it's all paid chills. Anyways, that's cool. But I want you to listen to what Sandy Call says here, head of innovation at Franklin Templeton. And before I play the video, put your seatbelt on. Look at her LinkedIn profile and hold your jaw. Because we're going to start back in 1985 when she worked at Lehman Brothers, future market research analyst for almost 10 years, and then portfolio manager at Goldman Sachs, and then IBM as a financial service consultant, JP Morgan Chase for 2 years, Citi for 13 years, and currently she is a board member at the DTCC, Digital Assets Advisory Board. Are you seeing this? And then also a board member of the World Economic Forum Digital Asset Advisory Board. And then, of course, the executive VP, head of innovation. And being having worked in the industry and having this person in your room is insanity. I would love to be working with Sandy, okay? And the fact that she is the head of innovation at Franklin Templeton, and she said this.
Look, I think that we are going to see a massive relocation of the industry infrastructure, right? And it's going to happen so much faster than people anticipate. We like to say at Franklin Templeton, we're going to see more progress in the next 5 years than we've seen in the last 50. And that's simply because it is a superior set of rails, right? It offers you the ability to move away from this session-based 9 to 4, Monday through Friday activity to global 24/7. Right? It allows you to move away from even an enhanced T+1 settlement cycle to atomic settlement where assets and securities and assets and payments are exchanged instantaneously. It allows us to get rid of intermediaries that are toll takers and gatekeepers that add cost and fees. And it's going to allow us to reduce the amounts of collateral that we have to post to operate the system. Those are all compelling reasons. But the most compelling is going to be that the money is moving out of the traditional rails, right? The money that's coming out in stablecoins is very rarely going back into the banks when it comes off chain. People are leaving money in these wallets. It's becoming a parallel economy, and we're going to see our entire set of financial services migrate onto this parallel set. In a sense, it's like what we saw with ETFs, to go back to the point you were making, is that once it starts happening, it doesn't stop happening and it keeps spreading. And we've kind of passed that point of no return. So I think we are at the beginning of the migration. And I think that because these technologies are open source and easy to get to, it's going to happen a lot faster than anyone in the industry anticipates.
I cannot stress this enough. We are on the wave of a major major flood into this crypto ecosystem with regulated capital flowing in. I cannot stress that enough, and I cannot stress the fact that $100 XRP is going to happen 100%, and anything over that is whatever. But the thing is, they need it that high, and we're going to get into it. Listen to what Sandy says and go on and smash that like button. I listened to this probably like 20 times, just over and over and over and over and again, because they're telling you. But the thing is, in the world, if you really think about it, in the world, and I'm going to be very conservative here, probably 100 and maybe let's just say so conservative, 500,000 people on this planet has really understood this and watched this video. And guess what? That number is a lot lower than 500,000. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But now, let's listen to what David says here very carefully, because tomorrow's video, I'm going to do a very, it might be a day after tomorrow, because I want to do like a really good math calculation on this. And this is, it's math, folks. It's math. Liquidity, depth, math. That's literally what it all comes down to. But listen to David.
The cost of XRP doesn't directly impact the cost of a payment. So in other words, if I want to buy something from you and the value of that thing is, let's say it's the equivalent to $1 million US. Like the amount of XRP, the price of XRP is going to determine if I'm going to pay you an XRP. The price of XRP will determine how much XRP I have to give you. But it won't make the payment any cheaper or more expensive, right? If the price of XRP is very high, I'll give you fewer XRP, but it'll cost me more to get them. And if the price is low, I'll have to give you a lot of XRP, but I paid less for each one. So there's no such thing as like cheap XRP making payments cheap or expensive XRP making payments expensive. And that's the point that I was trying to make there, that the price of XRP doesn't determine whether payments are cheap or expensive. But what does happen is, in general, the higher the sort of market cap of the asset, it's not so much the price per unit, but the market cap does impact the ability to use the asset for payment. So for example, let's say I wanted to buy a house that was worth $1 million USD and I wanted to use Bitcoin to do it, right? Back when Bitcoin was like $100, you couldn't realistically use Bitcoin to pay $1 million because the market didn't have enough liquidity. Like if I wanted to buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin back then, I would have pushed the price up. And then when I gave the $1 million worth of Bitcoin to you, let's say to buy your house, when you go to sell those, you would push the price down. So you would take a loss on the buy and I would take a loss on the sell, and that would make the payment suck for both of us. But today, I can buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin without moving the market, and you can sell $1 million worth of Bitcoin without moving the market. So the higher, it's not so much the price, it's more the market cap, but really it's not quite, like a higher price tends to mean a higher market cap, and a higher market cap tends to mean higher liquidity. It's really more like the sort of availability of liquidity that determines how easily you can use an asset for payments when you don't have closed loops. Obviously, if you have closed loops of the assets, we'd all love to see everyone in the Bitcoin space and the XRP space and the Ether space. If you see it for payments, you want to see closed loops. Like I want to get paid in XRP. I want to pay my landlord in XRP. I want to pay my electric bill in XRP. Then I'm happy to receive. Then we don't, then it doesn't matter what liquidity there is because you're strictly in the asset. But in the short term, before you can get to those closed loops, you're going to have open loops. Like maybe I can get Ripple to pay me in XRP, but then I can hold, and maybe I really like holding XRP. Let's say I love holding XRP. So yeah, I'd like Ripple to pay me in XRP, so I'm holding XRP as soon as Ripple pays me. But then when I have to pay, for groceries, my grocery store is not going to take XRP yet. So I have an open loop, and I need some liquidity in order to be able to buy my groceries. Now, if my groceries, if there's not a lot of liquidity and it's very difficult for me to convert my XRP into dollars, then that open loop system doesn't work. And so so the price of XRP doesn't matter to this, right? Ripple might pay me more or less XRP. I might need more or less to pay my bills, but it doesn't matter. The system works just as well. A cheap XRP isn't meaningful there. But what is meaningful is how expensive or how much it cost me to sort of convert. And especially for big payments, like if you want to make $1 million payment, it has to be that $1 million buy or sell of XRP doesn't move the market a lot, because if you move the market, it's always going to be against you, right? Moving the market always means it's going to cost you more to buy, or you're going to get less when you sell. So if you're moving the market, it's going to effectively a tax. So what I was saying in that quote is that XRP being low in price doesn't make it better for payments. In fact, it probably leads to a smaller market cap and less liquidity, which makes it worse for payments.
This is what pretty much David said. The price of XRP doesn't make payments cheaper or expensive. We know that. What really matters is the market cap and liquidity depth. A low price means you need a lot of XRP units. A high price means you need a fewer XRP units. But either way, the cost to make the payment is the same. And remember yesterday's video? We were talking about scaling the system. But he said the real problem is liquidity slippage. If there isn't enough depth in the order books, big payments will move the market against you. So if somebody wants to use the XRP ledger and use XRP to make, like, let's just say a $10 billion transaction, that's going to move the market. But the thing is, they don't want volatility in a digital asset that's going to be utilized and worked with real economic value. So that's why the value of XRP is going to go up really fast. So he made it crystal clear. It's not about price. It's about liquidity. A higher price tends to mean higher market cap. And a higher market cap means more liquidity. That's what makes XRP useful at scale. And you guys saw the math yesterday. If you guys missed yesterday's episode, the link is in the description down below. But for example, at a $5 XRP, there isn't enough liquidity to handle even a fraction of the global flows. And at $100 XRP, you're finally in the zone where trillions in settlement volume can realistically clear. That's the important part here. And the thing is, I know I'm right. And I really hope you don't take it the wrong way, thinking like I'm coming out here and trying to be cocky and saying my shit don't stink. But realistically speaking, I know others see this as well. So the individuals that don't see it, it's just not me. It's the other people that see it as well. Okay, please try to wrap your head around this. We're here to try to educate you. Okay, no one's forcing you to buy XRP. There's so much information out there that we're providing for you to do your own due diligence and wrap your head around this asset. This asset is going to completely blow people's mind. And David told you the blueprint. Okay, he hinted when he said this. A higher price tends to mean a higher market cap. And a higher market cap tends to be a higher liquidity. It's really more like the availability of liquidity that determines how easily you can use an asset for payments. Read between the lines. XRP must be expensive to function at scale. It's not an option, it's a requirement. And when you compare that to Bitcoin, for example, because it is the biggest player in the game right now, understand what it's being used as, right? Because Saylor can pump Bitcoin all he wants, but Bitcoin doesn't scale with liquidity. Its only strategy is hope someone richer comes in later. That's not liquidity. That's a Ponzi scheme. XRP is the complete opposite. Okay? Its survival depends on liquidity, which means the price has to rise to support trillions in settlement. And you heard Sandy say it. I mean, what more do people want to get convinced?
We are going to see a massive relocation of the industry infrastructure, right? And it's going to happen so much faster than people anticipate.
Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, but we really got to break down more in depth and show you guys some figures in regards to what David is saying about moving the market, okay? Like, for example, if you are, take this as an example. If you're at $1 trillion market cap, $1 trillion market cap for XRP, and let's say somebody wants to come in and do a $100 billion transaction. Folks, that is moving the market. That is almost 10% of the supply of the whole market cap. That does not provide deep liquidity, okay? And now let's look at it from this perspective. When you do $2 trillion market capitalization and somebody comes in here and wants to do $200 billion, that's still a lot of liquidity that you're taking out from the system. And this is what Tyrone Lobin meant.
The market, the 24-hour volume for both USDC and USDT is like $25 billion or something. That's like 400 times less than what we do every day. And if you think about having to fully reserve $10 trillion to be able to make those payments every day, that's a lot of liquidity that you're taking out of the system. And that's, really actually has a negative impact. And you can't really start to create credit creation. Like, you can't actually enact credit creation and issue auto loans and mortgages if you have this huge balance of liquidity that's locked up.
Man, come here, give me a hug right now, because I know that part enlightened some of you guys. That part right there clicked in and you just went, holy crap. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We are going to be doing a merch launch. And I know I've said this in the past and it's taking forever because I'm only going to do one merch. Like, if you guys see other content creators, they have their merch, print on demand on all their stuff. This is not going to be a print. This is going to be the final drop of 24 Hours Crypto merch. We made only one merch and there was less than 500. And you remember that one? Incredible. Let me know if you guys still wear those. I was wearing mine actually yesterday. I actually slept with it. But man, that shirt speaks volumes right now, just looking at it and all the memories that come back. 'Cause that's all it is at the end of the day. It's about the memories that we are making on this path, folks. Okay? As much as you think that sounds weird, guess what? It's not. Every day goes by, we are documenting the history of an asset class that is about to disrupt the whole financial ecosystem. And I've told you guys this before, right? Now my conviction rate is way over. It doesn't even matter anymore. I always do quality assurance on my work. Is the information correct? Is it accurate? Does it make sense? Are we misleading individuals? And the answer is no. And the answer is no. And I'm going to make a video about, well, you know what? I'll just keep it at that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And we'll be back with another video.
They told us dream small, but we had the stars in mind. While they chased hype, we studied time. In the noise we found the signal. Brad knew just what to do. Now XRP hums like jazz, running smooth and true. Money's changing, systems bend, ripple flow into the end. Truth is quiet, bold and deep. We salute the ones who lose no sleep. Salute to the minds that built this chain. Salute, salute through the trials, through the pain. Salute, salute to the calm, to the wise. Salute 100 in our eyes. Bitcoin maxis yell on stage, stuck in loops they call belief, while XRPL just clears the way. No delay, no grief. They hoard coins like dusty gold, but we got utility in every fold. The future ain't loud, it's steady breathing. Real ones know what's worth believing. It ain't hype, it's code and soul. We salute the ones who see the whole. Salute to the builders, to the flow. Salute, salute where the real ones choose to go. Salute, salute to the heart, to the plan. Salute, XRP will lead the land. Value don't lie, and truth don't shake. Let the whole world break, we remake. Strategic reserve, written in stars. XRP gonna take us far. So here's to the signal, clear and bright. To the dreamers who held on tight. No matter the storm, no matter the fight. Salute, we rise with the light.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.